how do I put this? Y'all know the whole, I want y'all to understand that something that I've been hiding for a while after doing collabs and stuff like that, and it's not just collabs, it's just everywhere I've been going on in the internet. Like, I just haven't been feeling like I belong because a very specific opinion that is, very controversial. But I feel like I have to say this because it's been bothering me. And look, if you have the opposite opinion, I don't hate you for it, right? I don't hate you for it. I wouldn't cut contact with you. However, it might be the opposite with the other side, because that's usually how it is, unfortunately. We live in that time. Y'all know the whole LGBTQ stuff. I never liked it. I was like, I'm not homophobic. Look, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're lesbian. I don't care about that. However, it is a problem when you're talking about transgender stuff. That's when I think it's a problem. I feel like you're hurting your body. I think you shouldn't be supporting anybody that says that they're a different gender than what they really are. I feel like you're hurting your friends. If you tell them, hey, you're actually this gender. No, these people are hurting, bro. I think that you should not encourage that. That's my opinion. And if someone tells me, oh, call me a he or a she, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna call you by your name if you're gonna tell me that. If you're gonna tell me that, I will not call you he or she, whatever you want me to prefer to call you. I'm not doing that. I will call you by your name. And there's a big reason. You are hurting. You are not happy with yourself. I feel like you shouldn't be like, oh, I'm all of a sudden this gender. You're not. That's just not how that works. That's not how that works. That's all in the head. That's all in your mind, bro. And I feel like a lot of people, those of you that support that, sure, that's... I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it. I was never fine with it. I was never okay with it. I feel like you're hurting people. I think a lot of people are afraid and they don't want to say it, but I think you're genuinely hurting. I have the same mindset, yeah. Could you understand why you're hesitant now? But glad, for you speaking out how you feel. Yeah, I feel like people are gonna cut me off now because I said it. But I genuinely I'm not okay with it. I think you're base. I respect them. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to earn any plus points or anything. I literally, like, I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I'm shaking because it's such a serious topic. People will cut you off for that. I'm not okay with the LGBTQ stuff. I'm not okay with the whole rainbow stuff. They ruined the color. I remember going to the store and wanting to buy a rainbow purse or something like that, and I was like, I was wanting to buy it, and then I realized that unfortunately I can't, because now I'm gonna be seen as something that I'm not, you know? And it's like, I don't like that. If they decide to cut you, they aren't true, that's how they think. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm so tired of seeing on Twitter, on Discord, people putting, oh, he, she, they, them. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is not how... What happened to society? You know, what happened? Why are you letting your friends, why are you supporting your friends going through this? Why are you letting them get into this kind of mindset? That's not okay. You are born on how you are born. You are born biologically female or male. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because somebody did mention in the chat, why are you specifically mentioning male and female? You should be mentioning anyone. I'm like, dude, anyone is male and female. And you're born with that biological thing. You are male and female. And I feel like I shouldn't be held back by saying what I feel. And it sucks that, unfortunately, the Sonic community has, like, this mindset. And the reason why I'm mentioning specifically Sonic community is because I am a part of the Sonic community. And I kind of feel so out of it, dude. I literally cannot be in the community without feeling so out of place. I think I remember going in Crossworlds, and I seen, like, streams of other people freaking out, seeing, like, transgender, carts and stuff. They get all happy. I remember doing collabs and people getting all excited with seeing a transgender car. And you know what I would do? I would feel bad about it. But I wouldn't say anything. I would just be like, oh yeah, look, that looks nice. And that's it. But it feels like I'm hurting myself inside because I don't tell anybody how I feel and I just keep it to myself. And it's like, dude, I'm tired of holding back. I feel like I need to tell it how it is. I'm not homophobic. I don't care if you like female or male. I don't care if you're gay. Okay? Because I find females attractive too. I find females and male attractive. That don't mean you're automatically a different gender. You're hurting your body, bro. I feel like you're hurting your body if you just all of a sudden tell somebody like, oh yeah, hey, maybe I should be a male. No, dude, what is this? Express yourself. Be who you are. Be who you were born with, dude. Like, dude, you shouldn't be like that. And I appreciate for those of you that do understand. I just think that it's wrong. I just think it's wrong. I was never a fan of the whole thing with that stuff. I was never a fan of the colors and the transgender stuff. I was never okay with it. So that's one of the biggest reasons that I don't want to do collabs. Because I feel so out of place on the internet. Because people have like that kind of mindset. I'm just kind of speechless. Not in the how dare you kind of way. I'm just genuinely didn't expect to hear the conversation this deep and controversial. That's exactly why I didn't want to bring it up. That's exactly why I didn't want to bring it up. You be who you want to be, but the gay shift. I just think it's the whole. One of the unfortunate things people need to realize is that there is an uncomfortable link between autism and the LGBT. Yeah, no, incredibly society needs to stop trying to appeal to the specific groups of their. Yes, and you know what sucks? You know what sucks? Sega, Nintendo, all these companies doing all these things for the LGBTQ. Well, what if I told you this? That's a marketing move, okay? That is a marketing move. These people don't actually, like, bro, it's a marketing strategy. They will make you buy stuff. It's all marketing strategies as companies. And if you realize it, believe it or not, it's like, dude, that's just how it is. I agree with you too. That's why I was hesitant at first. Because people would take this hostility, and I know you mean no harm. Yeah, no, like, it just sucks. It hurts, okay? I've met many people who are depressed because they're in that position. They have that mindset where they feel like they're the opposite gender. And it's like, you're not the opposite gender. You're born biologically by male or female. I don't know why we should have this conversation, but we're having it, dude. Because people unfortunately got that mindset. They got influenced by other people. People don't have critical thinking. You know? It's just like, dude. It's the most obvious marketing move. Have you ever seen the midnight of the July 1st ever company? What's the main reason why I say it's a marketing move is because it's on a specific month. They celebrate it in a specific month. I feel like that's wrong. If it's something that you really believe in, I don't think you need to celebrate it in a specific month. I feel like that should be something that you guys have consistent throughout. That's just what you guys have. But you have it in a specific month, just like the holidays. You know, people will buy more stuff. Yeah, Pride Month. Pride Month is so stupid, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I was never happy about it. I always felt out of place. People always make it about themselves. They never think about anyone else that is out of that's out of the bubble, you know? And it's like, dude, I'm telling you. And it really sucks. It really does. And that's why I feel like if you tell me to call you he or she, I won't do that. And if you tell me to call you they, them, I won't do that either. I'll call you by your name. That's it. I'm not gonna say nothing else. I won't fight about it. I can still hang out with you, but that's about it. I feel like you shouldn't, you know, and what sucks is, I feel like, look, have y'all noticed? The same people who have that mindset are very aggressive. They're very aggressive, they're very mean people. As soon as you get an opposite opinion of theirs, they will hurt you. And it sucks. I think by all means people are born the way they are, but they also want to be the opposite gender because they don't like being that gender. It is a difficult topic. I just feel like I think it's a whole mind thing. You're hurting yourself. If you like girl stuff, you like girl stuff. If you like guy stuff, you like guy stuff. Bro, I'm over here playing games, I talk about Sonic every day. But does that mean I gotta change my gender just because I like guy stuff and hang out with only guys? Does that mean I gotta change my gender because of that? No. I'm still a female and I like to be a female and I'm happy with what I'm as. I don't gotta change my gender because I like different things. Like, bro, like, it's just, I don't know, dude. They, them, what is even this supposed to mean? Exactly. And it feels like, I feel like a lot of Sonic YouTubers and everybody, I feel like people need to speak up when they're against it. Because I know there are people that are not, happy about it. They just don't say it, because, you know, it's very controversial. You shouldn't be talking about that. So, you go through the same problems I do, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, no. It's just, like, I just can't find my place. You know, I can't find my place right now. Hopefully I do one day, but at least I hope you guys stick around either way at the end of the day. That's all that matters. So that's all I care about. So I still pronounce like Z's or here herm. Like what that's supposed to be. Yeah, exactly. Like these are words that just come out of nowhere. I ran into someone on Discord who did this BS and they were very toxic to me absolutely for no reason. Yeah, exactly. The whole Hogwarts Legacy thing was a great example of the kind of people they are. Exactly. And it sucks. Because I don't like to generalize, but that's what's been going on. You get the same vibe every time, you know? And the hard part is no one is going to listen, and they are just going to be ignorant instead opening their minds. Exactly. They need to be... I feel like everyone is just in a bad place. I think they're in a bad place. You shouldn't hate on someone, or you shouldn't hate yourself because you're the gender that you apparently think that you are supposed to be, which is such a weird, thing to say. But unfortunately, we live in a time where people come up with these crazy genders. And not only that, sometimes I'll go into Twitter and I'll see someone with like the bio saying I'm black or like I'm white or saying like something like that. I'm like, why do you need to tell everyone that you're this? They say they're this and then they add the whole gender thing and it's like, why? And you know what happens? The same personality. They start to hate on you for stuff. It's like, dude, I just don't know. You're good. We actually love you for coming up with that opinion. Me personally, I'm afraid to speak about it too. Yeah, no, I get really scared talking about that stuff. I went through worse, especially Valentine's Day. Yeah, my friend told me in high school, his girlfriend was a guy, and that her pronouns were they them, and I just gave up. It made no sense. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've had, some friends, well, I wouldn't say my friend, but, okay, let me say this. I've had someone I know that had a friend of theirs, basically, that they, you know, they started to turn, and, they changed to somebody completely different. They became very, they changed their gender, apparently. That's not possible, you can't change your gender, but they changed, quote unquote, and to a female, and then they became very aggressive and mean. So unfortunately, they had to cut contact with them, and you know, I got tricked into that twice on Discord. It actually made me stay away from Discord for a while. Yeah, just saying opening with my pronouns are just kills the conversation. Exactly. Like I have that same vibe. So basically, I would be collabing, right? I remember I got DMs during the stream to call them this, but I never did. I just called them their name. And I let it be. That's it. I don't want to go into having a whole fight in a collab, you know? So it's just like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I feel like it's going against what I truly believe in and it's hurting myself inside, you know? So it's like, dude. Another thing that bothers me is that I grew up in a school that said there's only 2 genders, and I feel out of the loop when they say, I'm a they, and I hate getting into genetics, cause, yeah, no, exactly, it's just common sense. I see it was hard for you to open up about this, yeah, no. As long as you're okay for it, good for you letting it out, yeah, no. Transitioning into a woman, yet being hella aggressive has always been weird to me, yeah. You got DM from the streamers? I got DM from the streamer themselves during the live stream. And they told me to call them a specific gender, which I didn't do. I did not do that. And, you know, I don't care about making anyone upset. Non-binary is not a, yeah, it's not a thing. Exactly, it's not a thing. Have y'all noticed that these things started showing up in 2020? Or like even, it probably even showed up earlier than that. But it's just, These things are all a mindset that is developed. In fact, think about it. Your average human being just walking around, not on the internet, they are not gonna have that mindset because they were not around those people that influenced them to have that kind of mindset. And unfortunately, it's just we live in a time right now where people just are too afraid to have their own opinion, and it sucks because I know that there's streamers out there that don't have the same opinion, but they can't say it, you know? Having to research someone's entire life just because you shouldn't misgender someone is so BS. Yeah, why are you complicating the simple concept of being human? Exactly. It started around 2018, yeah. I love the Neo Green Hill music. Yeah! Neo Green Hill. Having to research, but yeah, no, oh yeah, I already read that. 2015, that's when the stuff blew up and it's only gotten worse, yeah. The Sonic community does crap like this, what you're talking about? Yeah. It's everywhere. Everywhere, all over the community. It's crazy. You're a fascinating person to chat with. Can we be friends? You guys are my friends, yeah. We're friends. But you know, I thank y'all so much for understanding. But I did notice that half the chat did get quiet, so I'm sorry if I did offend you, but at the same time, that's reality. You're hurting yourself. If you're in a position, I know we have opposite opinions, and that's fine, but I want you to understand that this is also not really an opinion, to be honest. It's more of a fact, right? It's more of a fact. There's two genders. You're born with one gender. You're hurting yourself, you know? Rather have her be real. Exactly. I think it's the opposite. It's like, unity in the YouTube side. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I didn't get offended at all. Yeah, I can tell some of you in here probably didn't, but I hope the rest of you, you know, W speak. You'll be our friend no matter what happens. Thank you. I like 100% transparency. Final form, Bia. Yeah. Oh my goodness. No, but I just want y'all to understand. That's why I'm not doing collabs, because I feel like I'm going against what I really believe in. I feel like I'm talking to all these people. And that's why I don't like talking to other content creators right now, because they also are in, like, that train of, you know, trying to satisfy both sides, and it's like, I'm sorry, but I can't. I feel like I'm hurting myself in the inside. I remember just, like, every time I talk about it, or, like, I just agree to it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's whatever to me. No, like, it actually matters to me. Like, you know how, like, when you have to lie about something, but then you hurt in the inside doing so? That's what it feels like, you know? If anything, I actually agree with you on this topic. Yeah, no, I'm glad some of you in here do agree. In this world, there are two genders in every species. That's it, exactly. Then that's it. I don't think you need to be something completely different, and that's what sucks about the Sonic community. And like I said, the reason why I mentioned Sonic community is because I'm in the Sonic community. It could be any other communities. It doesn't matter. So non-binary means you be genderless, which is kind of impossible, yeah. Unless you were a person who were born with no sexual organs. Yeah, that's also a thing too, yeah. Exactly, no. There was a video a while ago where a barber asked people, do I have permission to touch your hair? Man responded with, isn't it your job to touch my hair? Or are you asking permission? Yeah. Another thing, yeah, no, that's really stupid. That's really dumb. Another thing that puzzles me is that there was no third gender till we had the internet. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Until we had the internet, we had no reports of people being under the third gender in the 1500s, 1600s, and 1700s. And now it's generations. Exactly. It's wrong. And we have freaking parents raising their children, specifically the mothers, I think, mainly the moms, unfortunately. I think this is mainly like a female thing. That they're convincing their child that they're the opposite gender. And they don't even know that yet. And that's wrong. I think that's like the worst thing you could do. And I'm like, why are you doing this stuff? Like, this is so wrong. People then get mad then that men didn't praise the barber for asking permission. Yeah, no, it's dumb. I'm terrible at discussing serious stuff. No, it's okay, Charlie. I understand. If you guys don't want to talk about this, I understand. I don't like to get into this stuff. But it's such a serious topic that I've been seeing like float around all the time, no matter where you are. And I feel like that's gonna be like one of the things that might just kill a lot of the people that watch me. They'll probably just leave, you know. What you're talking about is I see it as a disrespect to the opposite gender. Yeah, no. Exactly. I'm just saying. I'm currently listening and viewing what people say. Yeah, no. Again, if y'all don't agree with me, that's fine. But I'll tell you right now that you do need help. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna hate you for it. I'm not gonna cut contact from you or nothing like that. But if you have that mindset where you feel like you need to be called this certain gender, or they, them, or whatever, you need help. I'm sorry. You need to realize that you were born as that and be happy with who you are as a person. Don't encourage someone. I feel like you're in the wrong if you're encouraging your friend to be like, if you're fine on your end and you're happy with how you are, but someone else is having that issue, and you encourage them to be the opposite gender, I'm like, well then freak. That makes you just as bad. Don't do that. You know? Don't do that. Parents raising children that they're not supposed to be the gender they were born as stupidly dumb. Exactly, yeah, no. I was gonna talk more about it. It feels more real. People will say that it's cringe, just get mad that it hurts their feelings. Yeah, no, exactly. I've seen people on Discord who are doing this behavior and they act toxic. Exactly. I'm telling you, these people are very angry people. They're angry as soon as you say something that's against what they believe in, then, you know. And that's what sucks, because I feel like if I said this to Gamescage, if I said this to all these other content creators, if I told them how I really feel, I feel like they'll just cut me off. You know, I don't know. But now y'all know, so I figured I'd tell y'all, and that's how I feel about it. Most VTubers I see are they, them. Yeah, exactly, and it pisses me off. And I know I usually don't curse, but I'm sorry, but this is like a serious topic. It gets me really riled up, because like, dude, people are literally like, their lifespans are literally getting affected because they switched they're hurting their bodies, for crying out loud. Like, bro, most people really never stand against this, because when you do, very quickly they delete you from society. Exactly. That's why I don't talk about it. But now I felt like I should. Wouldn't be surprised if they did, yeah. I'm telling you. And it sucks because, you know, they're great people. They're fun to be around. They're people that you can hang out around with and stuff. They're great. But I feel like that, you know, stuff like that needs to be addressed. I think you can't just be like, oh, I'm okay with this. No. You know, I'm not. Why remove genitalia? Exactly. And some people literally modifying their bodies to be a different gender. It hurts. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you. And I saw gay people that would be handsome if they're a man, bro. Like, yeah, no, exactly. No, I'm saying like lesbian and gay, lesbian and gay, dude. I don't care, right? I don't care. But when it comes to switching your gender, that's when it's actually a problem. Transgender stuff is crazy to me. Lesbian and gay stuff has been around since the very beginning, I guarantee you. Like, because people are weird, you know? But no, genuinely speaking, the whole flags, it feels like a cult. Like, do y'all not understand that? Do y'all not see that? That it literally feels like a cult, bro, because they have like a whole symbol and you gotta follow these rules, and it just feels like a whole cult, bro. It really does. When people try to convince children that they're trans is inhumane, yeah, it is, really. Leave the children alone, let them grow up and watch SpongeBob and eat Lunchables, exactly. Now watch how people will get twisted and say Mia is homophobic. Exactly, they're gonna say I'm homophobic. And that's what sucks, people are gonna say I'm homophobic, I did this, I did that. It's like, dude, come on now, you know? It is what it is, though. Rainbow Mafia. Exactly. No, you're not wrong about that. But anyways, I just want to tell y'all about that. It's been bothering me, and that is a solid reason why I don't want to do collabs or anything like that until, you know, I don't know how long, but that's the main reason, because I just don't feel like I'm at home. Trans people started to become a thing on the 1950s, but it became more widespread. Yeah. I figured. I remember talking about someone on Discord who plays Smash, and they use lots of female characters, and they got a female account, so they called them she for a while. Then they said they're a he. I mean, if they being a guy and playing female characters, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that do that, you know? There's a lot of people that do that. They play female characters on a game or female icons and stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But when you're like saying to call you they, them, non-binary, Paca chacana, like whatever crazy stuff y'all say, bro. I'm sorry, like that's just wrong, dude. No, you were born as you were born, and I think you should be happy about that. I really don't, you know. I felt so weird, and I felt weird socializing with them going forward. Like it just gives off a weird vibe. That's exactly why. That's exactly why. It's the vibes, dude. It's the vibes. Overall, I appreciate the shedding light into this meal, and seeing the chat's opinion on this makes me let my guard down a bit, because I don't support these kinds of behavior exactly. And I think it's unfair. It's unfair that the rest of us have to be shut off because we don't feel the same way, you know? So it is a scary place though. The best SA2 speedrunner watched the whole long video about him, and they kept referring about him as a her. And when he spoke, you hear this deep voice. It's just goofy. It's dumb. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. It's dumb. It's wrong. And that's the main reason I don't feel like I belong. So that's just all I wanted to say. And I'm glad that those of you that did understand, I'm glad you understood. And lurkers, I hope you're not mad at me. If you're mad at me, then, you know, I don't know, go throw a brick at the wall, I guess. I don't know, dude. I don't know, but I hope you guys do, I hope y'all realize that you guys are great people. You know, we're all human beings. Don't hate yourself for being the gender, apparently, that you didn't want to be. You know, if you want to express yourself as a female, then do it, but don't change your body, okay? And and not only that, don't freaking call yourself a female. We're all male and female. That's it. Nothing more.